think I love the zoo because we fit in. You
That's
know? It's
true.
like, everyone's like, it's like,
That's true.
And chaos was erupting, and I was like, get it together. We're sending Daddy a photo.
I'm doing the best that I can with what I have right now.
Good.
And so if I'm worried about pleasing everybody else, I'm really disappointing myself. So you like give them a thumbs up like you're doing
yeah,
great.
like you
It's gonna
see
be
these
okay.
moms and you're just like,
Or
you know? So what did I do? Called my mom.
The Lord didn't design us to do life alone, and as moms, we're really good at believing that we should do it alone.
And just make your children the priority. What do they need today from me? Be in the moment.
Yeah.
I think what we want to kind of touch on today is work-life balance. How to take care of yourself. And are you a mom that stays home? You know, what is your, to me, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, like that is a full-time job. So this is not just about moms who go to a physical place of work. This is work-life balance, okay? So how do you take care of yourself in such a busy season with littles? And let's talk about that.
It's good. First off, I just like to say that I am like so mean to Evan because I'll be like, it's easy to go to work. like I'm like, I wish I could sit at my desk and drink coffee and like, but it's so true. Like I am a working mom, but I'm also like, man, like all my days in the office is a lot easier because I'm like, I'm with adults and I'm like engaged in conversation and I feel like purposeful and there's a task and I can easily get that done and like I can sit in quiet and answer emails.
Yeah, you're not distracted.
Coffee.
You don't have somebody, mommy,
Right.
you know, pulling at you, and then you're working on one thing and then you totally forgot what you were doing because you had to go, you know, tend to whatever they needed.
And then days at home, I mean, we all know we have children, but days at home, it is like
Anything goes.
the hardest thing of your life. It's the best. We all know it's the best.
Yeah.
But it is.
The war zone.
Yes. I love when Aaron always says, see you on the other side. It's like, it is the best, but it's like these early years, it's like, here we go.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yes. Evan was on a recent trip to Team Church, and some of the guys just went to hear Pastor Gerald, and they had a great conference. Like, seriously, it was awesome.
Yeah, I heard it was
But
amazing.
he sent me a picture of them, like, out on the water eating dinner. And I was
you
like,
did- oh, yeah.
this is how horrible of a wife I am. I sent him a video. I compiled a video of what my week was like. I was like, here's what I'm dealing with while you're at a conference. And it was like, bloody nose, like poop everywhere from a blowout, like, you know.
I
yeah.
literally send Luke voice memos of Gio crying. I'm like, listen to
evil.
this.
We're
I'm just like hitting record, and I'm like, what do you think about
you're
that?
just keeping it real.
He's like, I miss you so much. I'm like, yeah, we miss you too. We really miss you.
That's so, see, I'm like, what did I do during that time? Chaos was erupting, and I was like, get it together. We're sending Daddy a photo. Everyone needs to smile. Okay, back at it.
Hey, but you've said too.
So you send your husband the Instagram reel,
Yes, we're fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine.
and you're like more like the home video.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. See my pain, you know.
Wow. Like you could never do this. Wow.
But you've said before, like if Jake ever goes on like a trip or something, you kind of like a little like
Jake.
time
Yeah.
to.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like,
do
in a
kind
good
of
way.
like
it. Yeah, because it's like I'm a working mom too. So like you're working, and then you have your home life, then you have your married life. It's like all the things, and just my personality. I'm like, want to help them, want to help him, want to help all the people. So when there's one less person to have to help, but it helps too that he doesn't travel a ton, but when he does, he loves it. So like Teen Church, that was his thing. He was around his favorite people, learning, growing. He was being inspired, and I love that for him. And so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. We do kind of let the rules go out the door a little bit. Like Taylor knows when Dad's gone, it's like girls' party. You know, it's just fun. So we kind of make light of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Erin, you take like really good care of yourself being a working mom, and one in particular, like running. Like I think it'd be really cool to talk to people about like just how you stay motivated to like take care of yourself.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know.
Do you do that because you need that though?
Yes. my body has shown me in many different ways. My doctor has shown me in many different ways, and unless I'm like physically cardio moving, it's going to shut down on me. So I do that for myself. I do that for my husband. I do that for my kids. But I've also learned that there are some days, like if I need to get a run in, I'm just gonna have to. So I got a running stroller, and running strollers are expensive. I just jumped on Facebook Marketplace. I knew I was gonna beat it up and get it dirty, so I didn't care. It was someone else's, and that's become one of my favorite purchases of all time. And now my little guy loves to go for a run because we go fast, and so it helps me want to go to help motivate, all the things. But I don't think I'm great at it, but I've learned, unfortunately, what happens when I don't take care of myself, and that's bad for everybody. And so as a helper personality, it helps them to help me, I guess. That's good. I'm still learning how to do it.
Yeah.
So you would agree that work-life balance exists?
I guess, like, I know we talked about this last time, Sarah, but you've helped us so much. Like, you think balance needs to be like this, but really balance is like some days you're really great at work. Yep. Some days you've won it at home. Some days you won it in your marriage, and you just have to give yourself grace that, what's funny? There's only 7 days in a week. That's not an even number. So, like, you can't win in equal parts, like, in a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
You just have to give yourself grace. You have to encourage yourself when you're doing a great job. Pick yourself back up. Have people in your circle that are going to do that for you. Allow them to speak life into you. Allow them to help correct you when you're not balancing it correctly. And, right, it's figure it out. It's Monday again.
Savannah, does work-life balance exist?
I think, like Erin said, I think my initial transition back to work was incredibly painful because I thought that work-life balance was 50-50. And like Erin said, like when we think of balance, we do think of like balancing the scales. But the reality is that work is going to demand more of you in certain seasons, and your kids are going to demand more of you in certain seasons. And so, like, giving yourself the grace and flexibility to tend to where you are needed most, or to be where you can only do the things that you can do. I think I am like just now learning after 9 months back into the workplace. So I don't know that work-life balance does exist if you're thinking of it like a pie chart or like the balancing of the scales. I think you will always find yourself sorely disappointed, feeling like you're failing, feeling like you can't get it together. Why can't you be organized with the house? Why can't you remember this thing about this meeting? Or why does my kid have to get sick the one day that I got to be doing this? And so I think like you just have to like acknowledge like it's not going to be perfect. It is going to be a sliding scale. It is a moving target. But if you can just like ask yourself like, where do I need to be right now in this moment? I think that like that's a really freeing feeling. And I think a lot of times too, like where that disappointment comes from is like we're worried we're disappointing other people, whether that's like disappointing our kids or disappointing our coworkers or whoever, your husband, whoever it is. And so like you just have to like release that and just say like, I'm doing the best that I can with what I have right now. And so if I'm worried about pleasing everybody else, I'm really disappointing myself. And so going back to your point again, like if I'm not good, nobody can be good. So it is kind of this moving, sliding ordeal, but you're just, like you said, reset on Monday, take another stab at it.
Would you guys say too, like, because we've now all experienced coming back to work after being at home for a little bit, when we see other women come back into the workplace, we have a lot more grace for them than maybe we did before. We've all learned to acknowledge when someone's not okay and be the one to step up and like, hey, it is hard. You can do this. Like, hey, just so you know, it was hard for me too. Like, to help create the village and remind other moms that there is a village that exists for this. Would you say?
Yes.
Just made us more sensitive and aware.
My first day back to work, you put together a gift basket for me that had body armors, pumping wipes, and like like snacks. And I like bawled. I like saw it. I was like, oh my God, somebody sees me. Like. All of these weird things to balance. But I think I definitely like, I almost get like kind of sad for them like at first because I'm just like, I know that you cried it on the way to work today. I know that you are constantly wanting updates like with how your baby's doing. I know all you're thinking about is like, how can I get home? When can I get home? I know you're in the middle of a meeting and you're thinking, I need to go pump right now. Like you just have a whole new level of compassion.
Let's talk about that. That's a real place.
That's a real place. And you're like, I can't leave. And so funny. I had this coworker. She is my favorite, but she would always announce when I would leave.
Okay.
So I would like get up and like everyone else leaves to like go to the bathroom. And I would get up and I would walk out and she'd be like, where are you going?
Oh no.
But because I would have to leave, like these meetings were like 4 hours long. And so I was still pumping like every 2 hours. And she'd be like, where are you going? And I'd be going, where were you? So finally I had to sit her down. I was like, hey, if I'm leaving, it's because I'm pumping. I was like, I need you to not announce that. I was like, it's
Probably not a
embarrassing
mom
to me
yet.
right now.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. But at the time it was still like
It's
very
new.
embarrassing. I didn't want anybody to know.
Yep.
And but it's a whole thing, and you don't want to leave because you don't want to miss anything in the meeting, but it's just
You
there,
gotta
and
go.
you gotta go, you gotta get it out.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize until I came back to work while trying to nurse, if you don't keep your regulated schedule, your
Yeah.
supply will deplenish.
Yeah,
It's economics, supply and demand,
Didn't
baby.
know that. Didn't know that until it started going away. I'm like, where did it go? But it's a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nursing mom right now, and so everything you guys are saying, I'm like, yeah. After this podcast, I should probably get in that.
We're like, oh, Rachel, where are you going?
Yeah.
I remember, like, speaking of like just being a working mom, I remember this was years ago. I think I had Micah maybe, but it was when we were still doing conferences, and I remember kind of like being a crunchy mom. I was like, he can't have formula, mom. I've got to pump. And so I was like trying to keep up with all the demands. And then I was like really low on my supply. And I'm like, mom, drive here. Then she comes and gets the milk. Then she gets pulled over by a police officer. Then she starts explaining like, I've got the milk in the bag that I got to get, so it's
Did she
like,
get a ticket?
no.
Good job,
Because the
officer.
police officer had a newborn.
Wow.
Come on. So he like really understood.
job.
So all of this to say, we are freaking strong
Killing
women.
it.
And how rewarding is it too? Like, it is hard work.
Yeah.
But what in life is not?
Wow,
So
you know what I'm
true.
saying? Like,
That'll preach.
it's hard work, it's hard work, it's hard work. But also keep in mind, like, we get to be a part of, I have never come into work one day and been like, I dread what I'm doing.
yeah.
Like, we get to be a part and build a church together and build a ministry that people are going to go to heaven. And I mean, you guys know, it's like I lost my dad a year and a half ago, and everything about my life is different now. The way I parent, the way I work, the way I view my body, the way I like everything about my life is different now because of walking through that. And one of them is work-life balance.
Yeah.
You know,
that's good.
and that we're going to continue building this church together and helping people go to heaven, but also at the end of my dad's life, all he cared about was that bedside, his babies,
Wow.
you know? And so everything about that, as much as I want to crush it here and be amazing, pastor would say the same thing, but nothing is more important than those
Nothing.
4 babies that I have.
Yep.
And that's my greatest ministry.
That's good.
Is those 4 walls and
Yeah.
making sure that they love Jesus with everything. And so I think for me, work-life balance in the last year and a half has changed so much of my view and my eternal perspective of what really matters in life. And I would just encourage all the moms out there that you're working hard.
Yeah.
You know, you're working hard. And mom, give yourself grace.
That's good.
And your babies are seeing that you are working hard.
Right.
Like, I think about that all the time. Like, your babies see that you are rolling your sleeves up and you're going to work and you're providing for your family and you're teaching them what it means to be a hard worker.
That's good.
Wow.
and
good. That's really good, Rachel.
yeah, I don't know.
That's really
That
good.
is good.
perspective.
Do you guys have any secrets to that you could speak into about just turning off work when you come home? Like, do you talk about work when you're at home? Because I know, like, for Marcus and I, we tried really hard to leave work at work, because especially in ministry life, it's so all-consuming, and you're getting constant texts and phone calls and emails, and I mean, there's real needs that people have, real things that people are going through, and you don't want it to negatively affect your time at home with your kids, your family time. Do you guys have any secrets? I guess I could say, like, for us, we tried to have our family time, make our kids the priority, but I feel like we also wanted our kids to be in ministry with us and to have them have the understanding of people is what we do. Taking care of people, ministering to people, being there for people is what we do. You know, and we're incredibly blessed now to have both of our daughters, in ministry with us. But what are some things that you guys just are intentional about from going from work, back to family?
Still learning that for sure. For me, just like the nuts and bolts, I've noticed when I'm working on my computer, I'm more likely to work longer and go more in depth and like focus more and kind of get into a zone where I don't even know what's going on around me. So lately, it's brand new. I'm trying when I'm at home, I don't get that laptop out as much as I can help it. Now, if something arises and it's necessary, then absolutely I'm going to be there to help. But, and then so much of what we do to love people is from my phone. Right. And so I'm trying to learn the balance of like, yeah, okay, we still have a team. There, like, life still goes on at church, life still goes on at home. I'm trying to learn, but Taylor's life is starting at school, and Harrison's life is starting. And so, this summer actually, she said the words, "Mommy, you're always working," or she said, "Mommy, you're always working. What about me?" Wow. And then, "Mommy, you're always on my phone." And that got me. I had a good tear session that night, and I was angry, all the emotions. But I know the Lord used that little girl to, number one, just kind of bring something to my attention. I thought I was doing a good job balancing at home. No. But then also it gave me an opportunity to explain to Taylor, like, okay, well, you're right. I am right now because we're coming up on a really exciting, busy season. It was actually Summerfest. I'm like, this is for you. We're going to have a party at church. And to include her with what I'm doing. But very good. That's still something. We also, because Jake and I both are in ministry together too, I laugh so much. We try to do a date night and we say, we're not going to talk church.
Good luck.
There's like crickets. But it's because
what do you talk about?
Exactly, nothing. But we're so
we tried that early on too, and it was like,
yeah. Oh, look at the flowers. But it's like we're so passionate about it. It's okay if that comes home. Like if you love what you do,
it's our life.
Yeah, like you want, like we want Taylor and Harrison to be passionate about what they choose to do with their life. And so I don't know. You guys probably have some good ideas we need to learn.
I think I'm still like at a really unique point because Gio isn't 100% like aware of like what exactly I'm doing, but he does know when I'm distracted. Oh. And so for me, it's been incredibly important to compartmentalize. Like there is no getting out the laptop at home because Gio's going to work. If I have my laptop out, when I have my phone, he's very much like in my face and he's like, "Mama, mama," or he'll yell. He's like in a yelling phase right now. Ah. Anyway, so I have just kind of had to learn how to like compartmentalize. And so like when I'm at work, I'm fully at work.
That's good.
When I'm at home, I'm fully at home. And when he goes to bed, I can work on whatever I need to late.
Utilizing nights.
And so it's weird to like work late, but I'm a night owl, so it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm trying to get better at it. But if there is something I have to handle, then like I try to have like either my mom come over or Luke and I will kind of divide and conquer. And like I'll go work in a different room so he's not like seeing that I'm distracted. So that's kind of been like our strategy, but it took me like disabling my email notifications like on my phones. Like I don't see them when they first come through.
Smart.
So I can check it in the morning. That's when I check my email.
Boundaries. Yeah.
There's,
I like it.
If someone emails me at 9 p.m. and it's like a angry email, I'm going to feel emotional and want to respond in that moment. And Gio's like in the bath playing, being cute. And I'm missing it because I'm like trying to take care of somebody else. And it's like, I don't need to email you back at 9 p.m. You can wait till 9 a.m. And so anyway, disabling the email notifications, or like if we have stuff going on like with group chats or group texts, I'll say, hey, let me text you after Gio goes to bed. So like just setting those boundaries, that way people know like I'm not ignoring you. I'm not trying to be, whatever. I just have to compartmentalize my time. And so that has helped me from feeling scatterbrained. I think it's helped Gio with feeling like I'm like not present. And so that's just something we've just started recently, like in the last month. But that's kind of my strategy so far. Cool. And it'll probably change again.
Absolutely. So but I'm with you. I utilize nights a lot. Like, and maybe that's why we've kind of just been like really good about getting them to bed because it's like as soon as they go to bed, I may do some work, but then I can go out and do like
your stuff.
Yeah. I can go to the grocery or I don't know, work-life balance. I love going to the grocery late at night because
you're by yourself.
No one's here. And I'm like,
no kids,
my gosh,
no people. Yeah.
And so I really try and utilize my nights after they go to bed and then do all the things.
Yeah.
One day I'll get more sleep, but it's not right now.
Not right now. Yeah.
So what did it feel like when you went back to work after maternity leave?
Tears.
So many tears.
Unexpectedly. I know we were
Yes.
kind of talking about this. I was excited to go back, so sad that season was ending.
Yeah.
And weirdly, so, had Harrison and 5 years later, or had Taylor 5 years later, had Harrison, you would think I would remember all of that. I don't know if it's because I came back during COVID or he was the second, I don't know what it was. It was like 10 times worse the second time around. But I didn't do a great job of communicating how I was feeling. I was internalizing all of it with Harrison, and that was a big mistake. I was internalizing it from Jake. I was internalizing it from any of my like circle that could have been helpful. That was a mistake, I think. I don't know. It was just hard. But I've never met anyone that was like, it was a cake. Have you? Have you guys met someone that came back from maternity leave and was like,
not yet.
No.
Just a real place?
No.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake I made was actually like not enjoying my maternity leave to the fullest. I think I was so like first baby, I was so insecure about being left behind or not needed or replaced that I would still like Gio would be napping and I would get on my phone and I would respond to emails, or I would check in on this, or I would check in on that, or I would say, hey, so-and-so, why don't you come over for coffee? Let's catch up. Let's talk about what's going on at work. And then the day came that I finally had to go back to work and I was like, I can't believe I wasted, even if they were hours or just days, like out of that 3-month period of time. I was like, I can't believe I did that. So like, I think like for me, like I almost went into like my exit from maternity leave like a little resentful because I was like, I can't believe I was so short-sighted, or I can't believe I didn't just take full advantage of this. I think it actually ended up making me a better mom because like I had time to like be with adults, work on things that I was proud of, but then I was able to come home and like be so grateful for time with my baby. Like Gio still contact naps to this day. He's almost 13 months.
So cute.
Like literally this week he'll be 13 months. And I still love to just lay with him in the bed. I love to let him lay on my chest when we're in the rocker. And I think that actually came from being a working mom because I just like valued my time with him like so much
Quality
more.
time,
And so I think what started as like a resentful season for me like ended up being like the thing that like made me like love deeper or more intentionally.
That's good.
And so that's kind of how I've chosen to view it. I think that the biggest surprise for me has been like I actually love this stage more. I thought I would really miss the baby cuddly stage. Gio's just so cool. He thinks things are funny. He has his own ideas, his own way of doing things. So I love it. I'm having the time of my life. I don't want to be, held back. I don't want to go back in time. I want to keep moving forward. But anyway.
It does get fun every stage.
So how can you give yourself grace? What would you say to the moms who stay at home full time with their kids?
You could speak to that really well.
Yeah.
So I was a full-time stay-at-home mom. I had the privilege of being able to do that. I think if we had like a really cool place to work like this, I think I maybe would have gone back to work. But I fully enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom, and it was a lot of work. It was, I mean, you have moms that go, like I said, to a physical place, at work, but then moms who stay home. It is a full time
Never ending
job, never ending. So I would say to moms who stay home, keep going. Keep going. And to me, like being home all day with the kids, the house got messier. There was more to do. There was more dishes. There was more food to make. To me, it just added to the things that on my list of things to do. And I think that you just have to give yourself grace and just make your children the priority. What do they need today from me? And that can change and that can vary. Did they need me to sit down and be really intentional with play today? Or having girls, they're kind of content on their own. I've learned so much with Gio, just not ever having a boy like. It is nonstop, which is so fun. But, I guess if you don't have time to, clean or get the dishes out of the sink, just it's gonna be there.
That's good.
And you can clean it in this moment, while your child is on the floor and that's a really great for just go be with your kids or your child and have that quality time, that intentional time. The dishes can wait. The toilets can wait. Wait, opportune time, nap time, bedtime, Anyway, that's what I would say to stay-at-home moms is just be in the moment.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
really
don't be
good.
so consumed by this box that you're living in all day, every day.
That's good.
And would you say, like, when you're saying, like, find what your kids need for that day, like, find what you need? What's your fuel for the day? Like,
Yeah, what do you want to put into them that day?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what do you want them to learn?
Yeah.
What do you want to work on?
And but like what you as a mom, like what does Sarah need this morning to be my 110% for them? Maybe it's like treat yourself with cake for breakfast, or that's what I do sometimes. You know what I'm saying though? Like,
Yeah.
what is your Red Bull for the day to keep yourself going? And
Yeah.
I don't know. This maybe has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but when you said toilets, we have a bathroom in our basement that we really don't use that often, so I really don't clean it that much. And the other day, Jake made the unwise choice to announce, he said, man, that toilet really needs to be cleaned. Have you seen it lately? And I panicked and got angry at first because how dare him say that? So, but my point is, like, I realized, though, when he said it, I was so overwhelmed already with anything else that I felt like was wrong in our house and was wrong at work or whatever, that I was like, I was really snarky, and I said, yeah, I did notice. Why don't you clean it yourself? So it was heated in the moment, but I realized so fast. I was feeling overwhelmed, but I hadn't communicated that to him.
Yes.
And he took that. I mean, it was kind of funny because we like yelled about it at first, and then he was like, you know what, you're right, I didn't mean for it to come across that way. And I was like, you're right, I didn't mean to like not ask for help yet. I don't know, it's just like what you said reminded me of, like, I hadn't asked for help. I was trying to do all the things. He finally noticed something that I was trying to not notice, and I should have asked for help. I don't know.
No, I think most issues with like working moms feeling overwhelmed comes from that feeling of being overstimulated but not even knowing like where to start, how to ask for help, and it always kind of results in this like pinnacle moment where you're like, I can't do it.
The toilet.
right.
Yeah.
Why do you help? Why do you do this?
Yeah.
And so I saw this like Instagram post, and this mom basically said, like, if you find yourself eternally living in feeling snappy, snarky, overwhelmed, ungrateful, like, it's not because of your life as a whole. It's because of like there's a root issue that's been undiagnosed.
That's good.
And so it's just challenged me, like, because I find that I'm probably a little bit more of like the disciplinarian with Gio, and then like I like cry after because I'm like, oh my god,
hard.
like. But usually it's because I'm just trying to do too many things. I'm like, Gio, like, I just need you to, you know, chill out for a minute, do this, do that. Hey, can we not try to climb on that table right in this moment? I'm trying to have this phone call. And, but I think, yeah, asking for help, and like, that's not, you can't have so much pride that you like are trying to do it all, trying to be it all, trying to impress your husband that like,
Yeah.
you've got it. The home front's fine.
That's what I was
It's
trying
like,
to
well,
do.
we're both working. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're working full time, but we are
Yeah.
both absent in some ways at some
right,
times.
right.
And so sometimes it's going to look like us needing to link our arms together and say, like,
Yeah.
hey, can you do the upstairs bathroom? I'll do
Yep.
the downstairs
Yeah, that's
bathroom
good.
or
That's good.
whatever. But yeah, Luke and I normally, that's kind of like the moment we have to get to is he's like, why are you being so? And I'm like, well, and then it's like, oh, there's
Yeah.
actually a game plan for this.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I'm glad that you brought that
That's
up.
good.
Communication.
That's
I feel the need to like defend Jake though. He was like, I'm totally willing to help. You just have to say something.
It's ask and receive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
that sounds so simple,
Yeah.
but yet we don't ask.
They're not mind readers.
They're not mind readers.
We want them to be.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you know me well enough to know by now that I need
Yeah.
this? And it's like,
No,
no,
you-
they have their own world, their own
Yeah,
things that they're
you
thinking
have
about.
to ask in order to receive
That's
what
good.
you need. And I think a lot of times too, it's hard for us to ask. It's hard for me to ask because I feel like, especially when I was home with kids, like, I'm home. I should be able to do all this. He is out there working hard.
Yeah.
He's working long hours. He's doing this, he's doing that. And I think I would always think to myself, like, get it together. You're home. Like, why
Yeah.
can't you accomplish all these things? Why can't you do all these things?
Yeah, it's good.
But I think you have to ask your spouse in order to receive what you need. And I think you just take a moment just to reflect and just ask yourself, what do I need
Yeah.
Good.
right now? What am I feeling right now? And then just to be able to define that to them and just say, you know what, today I'm really overwhelmed, or I am just completely just at a loss, or I'm tired, or I don't know. I don't. Communication is key.
Yeah.
And I've always said that, but I have not always done that.
That's good.
So how do you live life to the fullest with your kids? And I think that's different for everybody. Because like for me, I'm more of a homebody, but I tried to always create family time, and having family time be so just crucial and important, and have everybody around. But that's different for everybody, because some of you are a little bit more adventurous than probably I ever was.
Chrome down.
I don't know.
You're the best at it.
Just, I don't mean to keep bringing up my dad, but I just think so much about everything in my life just changed after that. So it's like, yeah, I just want to make all the memories, do all the things.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that has helped me, I mean, I feel like it's a balance, but I feel like I've been better about being off of social media. And that's helped me to live my life to the fullest with my kids. Because it's like, we all know social media is this weird, there's so many great things about it, but there's so many, like, this pressure, like, oh my gosh, I got to do all these things with my kids. Have you seen those videos going around right now that it's like, you only have 18 summers?
My gosh.
And then I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, as if we don't have enough mom guilt, like as
You know? And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm still spending summers with my mom. Like, you know, like it doesn't have to end at 18 years. So I feel like for me, living the life to the fullest, I've just been doing one little thing of just trying to, when I'm with them, okay, let's not be on social, let's not whatever. But, yeah, I mean, you're the same way with like just making the memories, doing the things. We have a summer checklist.
That's fun.
Erin and I both do that with our kids, and so it's up in the kitchen, and it's all the things.
Yeah.
Cousin camp and visiting the zoo and pool parties
And we make it at the we've started to do every season.
Yeah.
You make it at the beginning of the season where you're like super, I don't know, optimistic that you're going to get to all the things.
I love that.
And then like halfway through summer, you're like, nah, it's fine. But at least it's there if we have some downtime. And it has made for some really fun
it
memories.
kind of creates accountability as a mom.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Or like when your kids are like, we haven't done anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yes,
no, you
that's
just did
good.
18 things on the summer checklist.
Yeah, say
you know?
thank you. Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's been a fun thing. What about you?
To reflect.
I think for us, like, going back to, we just love to make Geo a part of whatever we want to do. So we, like on our off days especially, like we go out and we get coffee from like a local coffee shop, and we bring Geo, and like there's like a little store on the inside. It's like we walk him around, we let him look at things. Our like family gift this year was like our zoo pass, and so even if we just go for a couple of hours, he loves to be outside.
Isn't the zoo the best?
The best. I hated on the zoo for a long time, but now, you want to know what brings me joy? The meerkats. I just go and I look at the meerkats.
Okay, hold on. Before becoming a mom, were you an animal lover, would you say?
No.
Like the zoo was
No.
like,
Yeah.
but there's
not that
something
one.
about when you go to the zoo, you kind of get to become a kid. You
Yeah.
kind of just get to like, I'm
What
really
is
proud of you.
it? What
I
is it?
just freaking love it.
No, we have we have a route that we do. It takes like 2 hours total. We're getting blue ice cream in the dead middle.
Yes, you are.
Come
And
on.
we're gonna enjoy
You
it
do the train.
if the line's not long. We made the
Have you
mistake.
given him blue ice cream?
Yeah.
Only at the zoo. Then
Only
it's
at
like
the zoo.
the
Only at
moment.
the-
One lick.
Maybe two. Maybe two. I mean, how do you say
One
no
lick.
to the kid? He's got like the best eyes like ever, and he's just like, Mama. And you're like,
Okay,
Hey,
fine.
fun fact about the zoo: if you go at the end of the day, free pretzels.
no
Because
way.
they're gonna throw them away. So
Wow.
you can always see the Cromer crew like lingering around. Like,
I think that's the Rachel touch, though. I've also gone with lingering eyes, and it didn't work.
No
They just
way.
kind of looked at me like, well, lady, what are you doing? We're trying to clean up. But
Yeah, but when you got 4 kids in tow,
that's true.
they're like, oh, we feel really bad for you.
It's a pity pretzel.
It's
That's
a
what
pity
it is.
pretzel.
It's a pity
Levi, look
pretzel.
hungry. Yeah.
See, that's why I love the zoo. You know, I think I love the zoo
blink.
because we fit in.
blink your eyes.
You know?
That's
It's
true.
like, everyone's like, it's like,
That's true. If your kids losing it, someone else's is too.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Man,
And you like
So,
you like
you
sell
just
it.
have
You like
this,
give them a
like-
thumbs up, like you're doing
yeah,
great.
like you
it's
see
gonna be
these
okay.
moms and you're just like,
or sometimes you're like, at least my kid's not acting like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time we went to the zoo?
Levi was
And
like,
how
go
many
ahead.
kids did you have yet? I don't know.
Only 2.
Okay. And then I just had one, maybe.
Yeah.
And your boy stopped.
Micah took his shirt off.
He was undressing.
Yeah, and she only had Taylor at the time.
You're at the
playing,
zoo.
playing with mulch. And you know, Mike, my second born, he's usually got like crap in his teeth. Like he's just like,
It was
poor
awesome.
guy. I love him so
I
much.
think me and Taylor both were
But
just
Taylor
like
looked
watching
at me,
him.
and I called Evan on the way home. I'm like, honey, I really like Erin. Just probably thinks we're the worst people ever.
No, I loved
but
every minute.
So when I found out she was having Harrison, I was like, yes,
Your time is coming.
it's coming.
But you were real. You were like, you said, you were like, well, Micah, put your shirt back on. Like But you didn't freak out. You didn't scold him. I mean, every kid has to learn you don't take your shirt off in public,
At the zoo.
right?
Well,
You
I
gotta-
guess, you know, I don't know.
I'd love to hear you love the zoo.
Do you guys
No,
go
it's
to the
good.
zoo with G? Have you been?
I've never been invited to the zoo.
Oh. Next topic.
Yeah.
We went to the pumpkin patch, and
Oh,
that was
That
really
does
fun.
count. That
At the
counts.
zoo?
Yeah.
Was there even an animal there?
Pumpkin
Yeah, petting
patch is
zoo.
fun.
Petting zoo.
Was
Pumpkin
there?
patch is
I don't think there wasn't.
Uh-oh.
No, yeah, we saw the animals. There was like a goat, and we're gonna do it again. We're gonna make it a family tradition.
When I see them at the zoo, I'm like, I'm just happy that they're having some
Yeah,
alone
yeah,
family
yeah.
time.
That's
'cause
cool, you respect
we
that.
tend to insert ourselves into just about everything else.
Well, it's
So
good. I love it.
okay, in what ways have you failed as a working mom?
Well, what time is it?
My gosh. My most recent fail was we had our Summerfest kids conference, and it required me to be there like way more hours than normal. And Gio's still nursing, so like I was gonna have to like come home in the middle of the day, and so
Because he won't take a bottle.
Yeah, he won't take a bottle. That started at 10 months. He like woke up one day and he decided no more bottles, no more pacifiers. He thinks that he like won't touch them. I don't understand. Anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to come back in the middle of the day. But my parents were like, hey, we'll help you. So my dad was gonna do the first shift and my mom was gonna do the second shift. And so it required me to leave my house at like 6:30 in the morning. Gio sleeps in. It's a really cool thing that he does. And normally he's up like 8:39. Like he loves sleeping. And so my dad came over and he's still asleep. And so he, crawls in the bed with him and I'm off. I'm on my merry way. And he wakes up and sees that there's this man sleeping next to him, not me.
Oh.
And so I guess like it was like World War III. Everything was a meltdown. He refused breakfast. He
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
he just was sobbing. And so anyway, that's my most recent working mom fail is I didn't know that I needed to be there when he woke up. And so I don't know if he thought I like died or disappeared or what, but it set him up for a bad
buddy.
day. So we left later and I woke him up ahead of time the next morning and
You learned.
I learned. So I
Grandpa
felt really
learned.
bad. Grandpa doesn't do mornings anymore.
Oh,
So
he's like, I'm out.
he's like, we're not doing that.
Oh, that would be scary.
I forgot the snack. Okay, so that was a mom fail. Boys basketball team, the Cobras.
Oh.
And I was literally at home, and
Is that your team name? Did
the
you choose
team
the
name.
name?
I love all the sports things, guys. I love it all.
Weren't
love
you the coach or
everything.
something?
No, but I signed up for all the
Okay.
things, and And
Would you be the coach?
I don't know.
Yes, you
I
should.
did play in the parent-kid game though. Not that many of the moms did that. That was fun.
The parent-kid game.
Like if you wanted to come play, it was like the last game.
You planned that?
No,
That's
but I
cool.
participated.
For
but
basketball?
anyway,
How excited were you?
Did
I
you
just
win?
love all the things. But I'm literally at home. Evan was at the practice, and I was like, Evan, I forgot the snack. Okay, when you're a 4 and 5-year-old little boy, it is all
That's
about the
right.
after
Yeah.
snack.
For sure.
And so what did I do? Called my mom. I was like, Mom, the Cobras are all waiting. And so she ran to Kroger and saved the day. So that was my mom
What
fail.
was the snack?
Oh gosh, Capri Suns and I don't know. It was like a pack of like the pretzels and chips, like I don't know, whatever's at Kroger, And the Cobras were happy, so we turned it around.
Now the Cobras can strike again.
Yeah, but that was
Oh,
nice. That was.
That's funny.
That was quick.
Speaking of Cobras and things,
Oh no.
the Komodo dragon died at the zoo.
You know what?
What?
So listen.
Devastated.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I saw that on Facebook, and so Luke still wanted to go and like make sure, like, did they not have another one? Like, what was going on? So there's like all these people like
Here's
looking,
some
but there's
Komodo
like they're
dragon.
looking for like
You're
the
in,
Komodo
you're in.
dragon like at the zoo, and they're like, where is it? Where is he? And so I was like, he died, and they were like, what?
I don't know
You
why my
said
kids-
it. Yes, I like said it loudly to Luke. I was like,
He
yeah, I
died?
was like, he died. I was like, that's so sad.
No, don't know why my boys
That's
like the
like-
Komodo
that's
dragons.
like telling
the
somebody-
lions, the giraffes.
That's like telling somebody else's child that Santa isn't real.
I mean, it's a fact
Savannah.
of life.
Hey, down.
I'm just laughing that you were like, well, guess what? Like,
All
you
these
announced-
parents have all these crying children, and they have to.
It was all adults. It was all adults. Maybe like 1 or 2 kids, but for the most part, it was grown. You know, like
What
the zoo.
is
You know the zoo
died?
adults.
Yeah,
The zoo
The
adults.
adults, they're a kind.
They're
Yeah.
like, I want to go see Fiona. It's like, you're like 35. You don't have kids. Like, why are you?
Yeah.
That is a little irritating. You're an adult. There's
Yeah,
small
move.
children that are supposed to be at the zoo.
Yeah.
Give them space.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Or like the line to like meet Fritz, and I was like, or Fitz, whatever his name is, and I'm like, you guys are all grown. Like,
He is.
I
cute,
know
though.
Gia will never remember
stood
this
in the line.
moment, but Gia wants to meet him. Like,
I want a photo with my kid with the baby hippo.
yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so that was my mom fail for getting the snack.
But it was a fail because that week, I don't remember what it was. It was a busy week at church too, wasn't it?
Oh, a million things going on, and yeah,
You didn't put it on your fridge calendar.
the snack, it missed it.
I just ordered mine because I was
You
like,
did?
I was like we've been saying, like staying at home or being like just your home life, it's a job, and so
Yeah.
you need a planner. I've tried the paper planner, but I don't have like a desk at like my like a central location, and so I
Yeah.
was like, I need an acrylic fridge calendar.
And if it's in the kitchen,
Yes.
that's the central
The
hub
central place.
yes,
for the family.
so I got one
You
that's a
won't miss it.
monthly and a weekly, and it'll be here tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'll let you know how it goes.
Let us know.
I haven't been able to commit to anything like that recently, so we'll see.
Gotta try it. See if it works.
Interested.
I don't know, Mom. I really am like, what time is it? I feel like I have a mom fail every single day. I don't even know. I honestly, I kind of get in this like season of I'm just really good at telling myself all the things that I've done wrong or all the things that I think they think that I've done wrong, and that's honestly something I'm really working on, is not allowing all of that to get the best of me. But one example, I don't know, just come into my life for a day and you'll notice quite a few, I guess. I would say probably using some family time. So Friday night is family movie night with pizza. Our 7-year-old declared that in March, and she was serious every single Friday. And we're kind of running out of movies for it, so if you have some to recommend, let us know. But I would say using time that we have pre-planned to be family time, like we all agree this is going to be family time, and I still chose to work during that time. That's definitely a fail. And it always is something that could have waited.
So what would you say to moms who have headed back to work?
You got this.
Maybe something encouraging.
Yeah, you got this. I instantly think of like, there's some moms that choose to go back to work because they're so passionate about, like we all feel that purpose. And there's some moms that have to go back to work. Maybe you're a single mom and you're just trying to survive. And Rachel, you said this earlier, like your kids are seeing what it looks like to work and to earn a living and to just be what it takes to make life work. And so
Absolutely.
I think that's something you got to pride yourself in and have a lot of grace for yourself. Know there's going to be a season of change. Know there's going to be a season of transition. Know you're not going to feel like yourself yet, and that's okay. And then maybe all these things. So I'm like, you got this, because that's what I'm thinking about Savannah. When you came back to work, I'm thinking about when you came back, you got this, keep going. And then make sure you have someone in your ring, someone in your circle that's checking in on you, that you can be honest with, that like you can just be your real self with. And if you don't have that person yet, pray for them, because the Lord didn't design us to do life alone. And as moms, we're really good at believing that we should do it alone,
Yeah.
especially if you're a single mom, but that's not how God designed us. And so pray for that village that you need around you to
That's good.
keep you going.
It's good.
I don't know.
Honestly, that's,
Yeah, that
that's
was a
it,
great
friend.
answer.
That's
Great.
good. Like, I was gonna say, get a good pump bag.
That's good.
And
But
here's
that's
the
good.
truth.
No, a pump bag. You got to make your life efficient.
Yeah, practical, but all those things. It's great.
Yeah, the pump bags now, they got the
They
the freezer thingies, like to keep it all cold. Like
Oh yeah.
never had that back in the early 1900s. You have so much stuff just to make your life easy.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like, okay, if you're like preparing for your first day back, I think, do what you can to make it fun. So like, get
Yeah.
a good pump bag, go get yourself a coffee, like make it like a treat
Yeah.
for you, because you've been working hard those last few months.
That's
You're
true.
trying to like get a grip on everything. So I think make it fun. And then I think, like you said, I think having people that I could process with and just know, like, I wasn't alone or I wasn't crazy for feeling that way. I literally have a friend, I can remember, like, I had just gone back to work, Gia was probably 5 months old, and like we went on a walk together. And we just started like sharing stories of like thoughts that like we were having about work or about marriage or about family, like whatever it was. And like it was all the same. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not crazy. And so I think that like encouraged me to know that like, okay, like this is normal. And it is that. It's just a season. Like you won't feel this way forever.
Yep.
And so if there are negative feelings, it won't last forever. And so I don't know. Again, feel empowered. Like you're doing a great job. And I work with young people, so I work with youth and college students, and I can't tell you like how many like youth and college students I know that have single parents or that have parents that work and are like, my mom did everything for me, or my mom sacrificed so much for me. And so I think just know like even if your kids are little and they don't see it now, like they will be thankful in the future. So your work is not in vain. You're doing a great job. So get it.
Absolutely.
Keep
That's
going.
really good.
Hey, we just want to thank you for being with us today. We hope that things that we talked about were encouraging to you. And please subscribe. We'd love for you to join us again. We're going to be doing more of these podcasts just to try to be that encouragement. And maybe share this with a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, any mom that you feel like maybe could just use some encouragement. Join us again.